The Sophisticated Savage podcast features unfiltered discussions on a variety of topics, including controversial, explicit, and thought provoking content. The views and opinions expressed by the host and guests are their own and do not reflect those of the production company or its affiliates. Some discussions may not be suitable for all viewers. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. Little left, but what about when you take breaks in your relationship and you get back together and things of that nature? What are your thoughts about that?
Ooh, it's a good question. I,
Because, like, I guess not a hidden secret, but I don't really like flaunt it like that. But I've had breaks in my relationships, and we figure out ways to reconcile, I guess, and try to move forward. And it wasn't always the easiest moments, and a lot of stuff happens in between, like miscommunications. Like, for example, you wouldn't tell, like, you're not gonna tell the entire world, like, yeah, we broke up or that we're getting back together. We're trying to figure things out. So not everybody knows what's really going on. So it's like muddy waters. And then the communication part, like the partner doesn't know either. Like they're trying their part. And then I guess behavior patterns like seem non-committal, right? And then they get offended and blow up and all that stuff. But eventually still try to work through it and reconcile. Like, have y'all experienced anything similar like that, where it's like y'all felt like y'all wasting each other's time, but yeah, did y'all still like the love for each other is like, okay, we still feel for each other, we want to work things out. Have y'all ever like experienced anything like that? I guess I don't know.
look, I'm single, so clearly, if I did, I didn't experience it fully because we never got back together. But what I will say is this: you need
Yes.
desire, willingness, and participation from both parties. Like,
Hmm.
if I, so the breakup that I had, I've been single for 4 years, but I tried really hard for a long time. But if I'm the only one trying and exerting myself, it doesn't matter how hard I try; it's not going to get there.
Right.
I have to want it. You have to want it. You have to find out. You have to take accountability for what you did that brought us to this point, and I have to do the same thing. So a big part of my growth stemmed from this breakup because I was able to self reflect and be like, "Yo, where did I go wrong?" So I'm able to comfortably say, "Yo, I fucked up because I stopped dating the person. I stopped seeing that person. I stopped doing the things that got us to that point." But
Hmm.
why can I speak freely about it? Because I learned from it and I've grown from it. And I
Hmm.
had that willingness to go back. Now, would it have worked? Yes, but it would only have worked if she had done that work. And maybe she did do that work. She understood, like, oh, this is where I went wrong in this, but she had no desire to be with me again or to revisit that. Um, and then one thing is, I'm sorry, but if it has no action, it means nothing. And if you're saying I love you to each other, but you're not willing to forgive or move forward together in a conducive way in a way you can both understand each other, then that makes no sense either. If you're just gonna consistently revisit the past, or you haven't mended whatever wounds were created, you haven't done
Hmm.
the work to make sure that that's not just patched up, but really fixed. And then you're not looking in the rearview mirror and you're not looking back, you're just moving forward with this person. If you're not really doing that, then you shouldn't go back to that person. You shouldn't be in that relationship. You should just let that go. Because there's work to be done on both ends. When you break up, there's work on both ends. Whether one was more to blame than the other, that's left to subjectivity. That's another matter. But even the person who didn't quote unquote do anything wrong, there's always something you can say. Okay, maybe I have to stop being so hard because let's say somebody cheated and they got back together, and the person who didn't do any of the cheating is not letting that shit go, bringing it up in arguments consistently. The person who did the cheating, who already fixed that work, who said I'm never gonna do it again, you're the love of my life, I'm gonna stay here. They eventually gonna be like, yo, but you're arguing with me about this every time. You always bring it up, and we're always living in the past because that person who got hurt didn't do the work. And don't get me wrong, it's up to the person who committed the infidelity to make sure that that person trusts them, to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that that person feels safe enough to be there. But there has to be an openness and a willingness to be like, yo, from this day forward, we're choosing, and it goes back to choosing. We're choosing to stay in this because I cannot do this life without you. If you're
Mm.
both not saying that and in agreement with that, no matter what the situation is, you might as well kiss it goodbye and just go find your person.
Kiss if you're lucky. If you're lucky, you got a kiss.
For sure. I agree.
But you might not want to leave after the kiss, though. That's the problem.
You get
That's
reeled
that.
back
That's
That shit
in.
that
reels you back
toxic.
in.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
yo, you gotta be you that that kiss be sometimes making you feel like everything dissipated.
Mm-hmm. You gotta
Sex,
have discipline.
the sex that comes after
What
that.
what what did you say?
What did I say?
No, no, I'm saying
Oh,
like.
yeah, exactly. It's like I think it's all fixed.
I can see clearly now.
Yo, sex clouds a lot of things, yo. When
OD.
you're
It
really having
does.
that thing and that
See,
thing
it's
is
blinding.
banging, B.
Yeah, it could definitely blind you. So that's why
Mm.
you need to
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta say no.
you got to see all everything, the whole. Are
And
you
you have to accept the good, the bad, the ugly. Like my man married 15 years done said, you need to accept all of that. You need to look at it and be like, yo, yeah, this part is maybe not that shiny, it's not that glittery, it's not that captivating, but I got all this over here. Y'all heard the that analogy with the department store and like women and their preferences and stuff like that? There's this
nah.
lady comedian that talks about a department store. I'll send it on the chat, and then we could get
Okay.
into once everybody's familiar with it, we can get into it. But basically, the shit is that you get to the first floor and it says these are the men that are available, and then and there's 6 floors total. Once you get to the next floor, you can't go back down. On the second floor, these are the men that are available, single, and have a job. And then on the third floor, like you can keep going up. On the third floor, men that are available, have a job, and they're family oriented. Fourth floor, they have all those three things, and they have a sense of humor on top of that. So they keep climbing, and they go, yo, it just keeps getting better. They get to the fifth floor. This dude is like the man. Great job, stable, sense of humor, good looking, everything. But then there's another floor. They take that other floor, and then what that floor reads is, "There's a sixth floor. There are no men up here." And it's like pretty much the comedian was saying like there's no real way to complete, like everybody's always gonna want more and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So like that right
Mhm.
there, I'm gonna send the other video because I don't think I do it justice explaining it like that.
I think I kind of get the gist of it.
Yeah, I
But
get it.
essentially, yeah. And she applied that to women, but I mean you can apply that to men in a certain aspect as well. But to me, if I got a woman that cooks, loves me, I feel like,
Check all your boxes. You're good.
yo, bro, yo, you cook and you love on me all the time, and you get my jokes. ¿Qué más necesito yo?
Yeah.
Yo estoy bien. I get to the third floor probably and be like, you know what? Está todo. Aquí estamos heavy.
And that and that brings me to my next question. In your opinion, what are the key factors in being in a successful, fulfilling relationship? Like, what are the key factors?
A light skinned brunette that could cook.
Being patient and understanding.
That's a good one. And these will probably be non-negotiables. These key factors, like this has to be there.
Oh, right, right. So a light skinned brunette that could cook and doesn't smoke cigarettes. Yo, I realized I was scrolling on Instagram and I seen a video of this light skinned brunette chick and I watched it like 6 times. All she was doing was showing her face. And I know this person. And I was just like mesmerized. And I just had to click back and click back. I was like, oh my God. And then I got to type. I got to type. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that I don't venture beyond my type and I can't see past the physical, whatever. I've definitely dated women of different categories, but these light skinned brunette girls, man, they just do it for me.
I think education too.
Fuck education. These light
Nah,
skinned brunettes.
having a good education, having a good head on their shoulders can go a long way.
Mm.
When you say education, you just mean like, what do you mean like education?
Um,
Because that's a very broad.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe like college educated or likes to read books or is very curious about the world, so they're looking to learn more. So they're like a knowledge seeker.
Okay, that's
So
it.
they're not like so close-minded, like oh I don't like broccoli or like simple shit like that. Like they close off to anything that you might suggest instead of they're more open to learning and trying new things, I guess. So it's kind of like a more down to earth
Look,
and
an
educated.
open-minded smart woman, I'm gonna be serious now. An open-minded smart woman is I love that. And to me, smart, you don't have to be book smart. You could be street smart, you could be house smart, you could be some sort of smart that leads you to understand people. To me, that's the level of smart that I like. You have interpersonal skills. You understand situations. You can read them. To me, if you know shit things, if you're knowledgeable of things, that's one thing, and that can be impressive. But to be able to have your own opinion and sound
Thinker.
secure in it, and 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 like you walk into a room and you command it, but you don't have to command it with your looks. You can command it with your words, what you
Mm.
say, the conversations you hold, like that to me, that is super sexy. So I get what you're saying. Um, and but the open mindedness, not no arrogance attached to it.
Yeah.
Like you can't just walk in and you're like, yo, I'm the shit because I know this, I know that, because then that's just a turn
Nah,
off. But
humbleness,
like I was
humility.
talking to this woman recently, and she's super smart. I'm talking about you have a conversation with her, you know, right off rip, damn, this woman is smart, and she has some viewpoints that could be like considered, I won't say extreme, but she's very opinionated. Her viewpoints, they're there, and she's securing them and everything like that. And I respect it so much because when I brought up mine and they were on the almost on the complete opposite spectrum. So if she's all the way over here, I'm like right here. I'm not even meeting her halfway. And you could tell in the conversation she was like taken a little aback, but she listened and she understood. She gained understanding of why I thought that way. It wasn't like shut me down type thing. It was just like, okay, I get it. So while I was understanding her viewpoint, she was understanding mine. So eloquent, so smart, and so open to just accepting other people's viewpoints and being like, I don't agree with you. However, I get why you think that way. And I think that's mad important. So kudos to you, Hussein. That was big, B.
Yeah, I personally, and I agree with some of the points that y'all made. Um, I think key factors in being a successful, fulfilling relationship. Um,
Don't say light skin brunette. I already said that, B.
damn it. Uh, damn. Okay. I guess. Well, willing to apologize, willing to be held accountable for certain for your mishaps, because let's face it, you're gonna fuck up. We're not perfect, not yet, at least. I don't think there's been a perfect being. Well, it's debatable, but there hasn't been a perfect being yet that we know of. So definitely be prepared to take ownership for your actions, and be able to apologize if you may have, hurt your partner. And we go back to communication again. I think good communication is a key factor. Kindness. I think kindness to me is probably should have been my first answer. And being flexible too. I think being flexible as well. with your partner can go a long way. Um, and flexibility meaning like being able to adjust to whatever comes. Did that explain why you laughing her?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Is this the wine? We talking about this strong woman. We talking about light skinned brunettes. I'm thinking, you know what I mean? Flexibility and positions and stuff like I'm just completely off of whatever you're saying. You're right,
Okay.
kindness, B. If she's kind, but if she's kind of dumb, I'm not with it. But kindness,
Yeah, I love the kindness. Like the
kindness is a
southern
good one.
hospitality. Like I like that.
I
Someone
think
who's respectful.
a sense of humor and just
Yeah.
wanting to have fun.
Definitely being able to laugh at life for sure.
Yeah.
At the madness of life. Like definitely I think is key.
I feel like if we combine everything we're saying, Captain Planet's gonna come up.
It's an amazing. I'm
The
imagining
powers combined.
I'm imagining a goddess being right now, like a humongous being. But they are, shout out to the women that I have met throughout my life. I met women that have all these key factors. I've been blessed enough to meet some of them. So
No, but
they're out there, fellas.
a life, I'm gonna be real. Look, I haven't taken care of my beard. I haven't gotten a haircut in a little bit. I get a haircut when I'm on my joint once a week, at most once every 2 weeks. I do these things for myself, yes. But if myself was around, oh, that shit went out. If myself was around without women being around, I wouldn't find a need to fix myself up. La mujeres,
You're a
it's
motivator.
big, bro.
I feel you.
Definitely.
Seriously, like I don't feel like life is really hitting like that without the presence of women. And I will say that in any room, son, in front of anybody. And that's not to say that oh, I'm gonna be what do you call these dudes? A simp, and I'm gonna do whatever it is you tell me, no matter what. I'm gonna whatever you say, baby. Like it's not like that.
Yeah.
Unless you're my lady. If you're my lady, I take pride in whatever I gotta do. As long as we're on the same page, we good. So la mujeres de verdad que when you find yourself a good woman, son, with the traits, the characteristics we're talking about and stuff like that, you'd be really dumb and probably remorseful if that person gets away. So, and if you're able to have that person gets away, you really got to question yourself, like, yo, what am I doing? You gotta really like bear down and be like, are you fucking up?
Mm.
So I kind of want to ask a question that's like the opposite of the spectrum. Like, about being in a relationship was like the most hurt, not specifics, but like what's something that the most hurtful or things they've said to you or that you've experienced by being with them. Does that make sense? And it doesn't have to be like any relationship, like doesn't have to be specific. So like you're a miserable soul or you're selfish or you're a piece of ish or you ain't ish. So
Or just
tell,
words,
yeah, it could be
Probably
words or actions, whatever.
probably
betrayal.
probably cara culo. No, I'm just kidding.
Betrayal, yo, misuse of my trust. I think that's the worst thing you can do.
Hmm.
Like, it changes everything because you have this to go back to Cesar mentioned putting people on pedestals. You shouldn't do that because eventually you'll be disappointed.
Hmm.
And it depends on what exactly you're putting them up there for. But I feel like loyalty, trust, like that respect, one it once you no matter where you place them, whether it's on a pedestal or right next to you, whatever, once they abuse that, that's so hard to come back from, son, because
I agree.
I trusted you with everything. I had a lot of respect for you. I admired you. I
Hmm.
Yeah.
admired the way you would speak to me, and I really thought you loved me. You never hurt me this way.
Yeah.
But you went ahead and you took advantage of my kindness,
Hmm.
and well, you thought shit was gonna be sweet afterwards. Like it's shit like that. And sometimes it's difficult. You know, you get betrayed, you feel that betrayal, and you go, "Oh, I still want to make this work." So like me going back to like, oh, when there's a cheater, you got to work on it. You could get back together, everything like that, but there has to be action and remorse after that for what you
Mhm.
did, that betrayal, and it's gonna take some time. A lot of people ain't willing to face themselves and that they're capable of doing something to someone to say they love, and they don't do that work. That shit's big.
I think that would have been my answer as well, actually. If if your words are not matching your actions, or your actions are not matching your word, then that's how mistrust is built.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't tell me you love me and
Right, and
do me dirt or
I
keep
don't.
doing the things that hurt me.
Right, exactly. So
Why you just don't respect me?
exactly, which is another thing. Another thing that's hurtful, when you feel kind of like disrespected.
Mm.
You feel belittled. You know,
Yeah,
like
that would have
someone's trying to belittle you.
yeah, that would have been my answer. Like there was one relationship that the woman called me, she said I was too nice. And her version of too nice was just, basically who I am. And it felt like you're taking a shot at my character.
Mm.
And, me being at the time, the arrogant motherfucker that I was, I kind of twisted it. And I think that's when MySpace was around and shit like that. So I changed my name to
Is
Mr.
that why
Nice,
you called it?
the nice
That's
guy.
crazy. That's
Wow!
the
And,
origin story.
Wow!
Wow,
and,
son.
at,
Wow! I did
at,
not know that.
at the end of the
Nah,
day,
what a
when you look,
dickhead for real.
when you look at it, the nice guy was in the streets. And that man was on a rampage. So she unlocked a part of me that I didn't know existed.
Ooh, let's
Mm.
That
talk about that.
yeah,
Talk about that.
it unlocked a phase in my life that I look back and I'm grateful that she called me too nice at looking back now, because it eventually led me on the path that I became and in now.
You found your
But
sweet spot.
But
yeah, like
but you was petty for that MySpace shit, B.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
even got a shirt that
I
said,
mean, are you really surprised, her?
I mean, it makes sense.
You know,
It makes sense. It really does. I just didn't know that was the origin story. I just thought you did that as your own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's where petty me began.
Yeah.
That
My
that
villain
is
origin story, and
Mm,
led me to be the man I am today.
mm,
Yeah. To piggyback off of that, when I was obviously younger in my early relationships or whatever, I think like girl blew me off because I wasn't moving like fast enough, like at the pace that she wanted to. And it's because like I respected her and wanted to treat her like as a woman. And because I wasn't like making moves, like I guess intimately or sexually, whatever, they're like they kind of just blew me off afterwards. So it was something like that was something I had to learn. Also, is like the chemistry or the pacing, learning how to read the room, like what their intentions are also.
mm.
Um, because sometimes women don't really communicate like straightforwardly. They kind of just give hints and you kind of have to pick up on them. Or people, I shouldn't just say women, people in general. So that's something that I've learned also in just general, I guess.
yeah, that's why I always that's what
Yeah.
it is, baby.
After that, like after that experience I learned and it probably turned me into the monster that I became, just like trying to get it in at any time, at any chance I could, because like I didn't want to get played again type of shit.
But
So
that's good to learn early on because like even now I'm very straightforward with my intention. Like if I like you, you gonna know. Oh, I like you. And I'm gonna let you know like the the woman that I keep saying that I have conversations with, like I have no idea where that's going. I have no expectations for that or anything like that. But one of the things that I knew, I was like, yo, just so you know, right now at this current moment, we're not friends. So like, don't get the idea that, oh, this is my friends and this. Her reply was, oh no, you're not my friend. And of course, I was like, yeah, good job. But I let you
Friends with
know,
benefits or no?
no. Just
Okay.
there's no expectations. Like, but I don't
Okay.
want you to think, all right, this is
Okay.
my friend, and it can lead to something else. No, because if you my friend, you're my friend.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Friend zone.
dabble into I don't do that whole but maybe not. Like nah, we have to. And if I'm not saying that I don't have friends that could potentially go towards it, but is that a thought in my mind? Nah. Once I know you're my friend, that's it. That I
You
keep you
friend
there.
zone them.
Yeah, I mean the king of friend zone is right there, but what that's why I established it right away. As soon as I knew like I might I might be interested in this person, I let her know like, hey, I'm not your
Mhm.
friend. These other people want to be your friend. I'm not your friend. When we meet, we can decide that later on. No
Be
expectation.
cool. Yeah.
But to be direct and to have somebody be direct with you, especially like in the beginning, alluding to what we've been saying this whole time. When to not waste time, you're non-negotiables. You're this. You're that. I don't put pressure on people. I don't talk to people because I'm like, all right, where are we gonna go to? What are we gonna like? Nah. Oh, you're a cool person. Let's hang out. And then whatever may come, comes. Whatever we make it, we make it. Titles don't matter to me. I learned this
Same.
last year that the physical realm is such a limited experience and that we connect on such a on a way deeper level. The most meaningful relationships I've ever had. And I'm talking about in this case, I'm not even just talking about romantic, I'm talking about in general. I will recognize them whether they are physically in front of me or not. I could be away from people months at a time. Cesar, I was away for a year. I saw you. How long was I away for, really?
They didn't feel like that long at all.
Like nothing. And we don't talk on the phone. Y'all know that I'd be absent, but I recognize my people not based on that physical realm. I recognize people on a much deeper level when they impact me, and when we're good, we're good. And if we haven't gone bad, if I'm not aware that we're bad, I think we're good. And when I see you, I'm gonna be good with you. So like all that shit is that physical realm is so limited that when we connect with that with them souls being, and that's why I like to make it directly known. Let's what is this right now is what it is. Let's see where our souls take us. Let's see where this connection goes. Let's see what's up. It ain't gotta be that deep. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, you look good. And
Mhm.
that's it. But at this stage in my life, that look good shit ain't enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to cook.
And then they don't look good forever either.
That's why you need substance, B. That's why, like, when you said education, when you said kindness, communication, all these things that they transcend this physical shit. Yo,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I've seen grandmas that look good. I wouldn't do anything with a grandma, depending on who the grandma is. You know what I'm saying, but not on some serious shit. I wouldn't do anything with a woman that's that much older than me. It
Like
doesn't
relationship
call my
wise, or
attention.
just like
I'm sorry.
relationship wise, or just like physically.
I think in general, I like to stick pretty close to my age group. I never really dated women younger than me, but now the women younger than me are fucking grown and they're sexy
Mhm.
and they
Mhm.
have their personalities and they know who they are. They're in their late 20s, early 30s, and that shit is so sexy to me. How they're no, this is who I am. I love that shit.
To attract.
And I don't want you to be 10 years older than me because then how are we gonna relate? I wanna relate. I wanna that intimacy that you know my mind and I know yours, that we can connect on those things. And if you 15 years older than me and you just know my shit, then I don't feel connected to you. My age range, 5 years younger, 5 years older. We stay right there. That's my radius. And if I form a connection with somebody who happens to be 10 years older, cool. I'll go with it. But do I seek that out? I don't really seek it out. I don't really, but I'm not apprehensive. I'm not like, oh, you're 47. No, we can't do this. It's just like, do I even recognize that you're 47? based on our interactions? Do I recognize that you're, and it just so happens that the people I'm most attracted to are around my age because I connect with them better.
Yeah. What were we talking about? I forgot the question.
We Hasiel mentioned
Even I forgot.
Mama will.
Bro, the thing is that you
You hit a lot
went
of points.
off, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you hit a
Just
lot of
now.
points.
That was
I'm
2 minutes, bro. It's hot.
No, it's a lot of points.
You went off right there. So any single brunettes that know how to cook, light skin, yo, leave a comment.
Word. Leave a comment at him.
I'm ready for that. Damn, it was a good question too. I think that's why I got carried away. Damn, Hasiel.
Nah, yeah. Well, we'll look at the episode back and we'll see what it was.
Yeah.
That was such a good question.
It must have been because it set you off. Shit was great. Yeah. Nah, but what are your final thoughts on relationships?
Don't rush into them. Try to spend some time on yourself. Learn yourself. Learn what you're bringing to the table.
Yes. I'm sorry, self-love. That was
Yes.
one of the biggest also key factors that I forgot to mention. You need to love yourself. You need to learn how to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, don't bother. Don't go ruin somebody else's life.
Mm,
Can't expect somebody else to make you happy. Just can't.
that's big.
Yes.
Just can't.
That's big.
So do the self work. Really, really get to. Would you buy yourself a drink? Would you go to a bar and buy yourself a drink if you had the opportunity to? Would you chill with yourself?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love that shit. Yo, I've
Hell
taken
yeah.
myself out on dates so many times.
That's all I
Hell
do.
yeah.
That's all I do.
I'm a
That's
good
all I
fucking
do.
time.
Hasiel's like, I love on myself.
All day. Pamela, yo. Never gone wrong. Keep me
You
out
do
of
have to love
trouble.
on yourself, though.
Yeah, my
Honestly.
fault, Hasio. My fault. But yeah, keep going.
Hasiel been disrupting
he
for
be he
me.
be he been here giving us alley oops.
Yeah. He's like, not to sidetrack, guys, but I have a question. I'm like, you're gonna have to have a notepad in front of you next time.
Yeah. Temptation. Temptation is a real thing. Learn to say no. Have some discipline. Cause sometimes that temptation is not worth it. And it can really change and fuck up your life in ways that you could never imagine.
Mm.
I've seen many people go through it and have gone through it myself. So always, try to stay low to the ground, love yourself, and try to love yours, basically, kind of how like J. Cole has in that song. Because sometimes some situations or the grass ain't always greener on the other side. Um, yeah, those are like main key points, I guess, to take away. And yeah, don't waste people's time. Don't try to just get in a relationship because people look good. Try to find substance, like Irv mentioned, and others. And then depending on what you want in a relationship, right? Like what do you really want out of a relationship? Do you want a family? Do you not want a family? Make a lot of those things clear. I know relationships that have been together for 10 years and don't really align and then get together or married and find out that shit ain't what they wanted. So,
Mm.
be mindful of how you spend time with each other or quote unquote waste each other's times.
Mm.
And then try to date, keep that love alive, that intimacy. Be mindful of who they spend time with. Careful with your circle as well. Protect your circle, protect your friends. Sometimes your relationship and your friendships cannot overlap. Just cause you never know when shit might blow up. You might need your friends to support you. I've seen relationships where guys just cut off all their friends when they're like involved with somebody. Like, nah, this is my girl. I don't got time to spend with none of you guys. A few years go by, they break up, and then they're like a former shell of themselves, and then they try reaching out to their friends, and it's like, yo, what happened to you and your girl? Now you want to come talk to me? Now I'm your boy and shit like that. Be mindful of those relationships too, those things. Because things change, relationships change, people change. So just want to be mindful of that. Because I've seen the best of people get into relationships with the best intentions and shit just blows up. And then they're just left to pick up the pieces and move on. So
Mm.
relationships are have a lot of layers and dynamics. If you have a family, even more so, it gets multiplied. Uh, yeah. I don't know
I would
how much I want to keep going, but yeah,
I would say just
That was good, man.
yeah, I would say enjoy the ride. You know,
that too.
relationships are a marathon, and it's if you find the right one, it's a never-ending marathon. So you enjoy that run, you enjoy that ride, you laugh, you cry, you do all of that. But you do it intentionally. You do it with purpose, with meaning. You do it 100%, and just you know, just be there for that person. That person will be there for you. Again, it's all about intention. Um, yeah, man, just enjoy the ride. When you find that person, it's fucking fun. Even if the moment sucks, the big picture is always fun.
Mm.
So don't forget to laugh every once in a while and look
Yeah.
back. And like we all mentioned here, like continue to date that person. You
Yeah.
know, continue to do the little shit. Buy those peach rings when you go to Target, type of shit. You know,
That's
buy
a
the
hint.
fucking honey bun. Love it.
Be
Those little things,
supportive.
man. Yeah, in
Be
everything.
supportive. Yeah, with their dreams, their work ethic. You're not always gonna have the best days, so try to be supportive.
And be understanding too. Like if you have a rough day at work, know that you had a rough day at work. You didn't have a rough day at home.
Mm.
Mm.
Your partner didn't give you that rough day. So be
Mm.
conscious of making sure that you leave that baggage outside before you walk into that front door.
Be conscientious.
Ooh,
Yes.
my man been sitting on that one. He said, "This is the opportunity right here."
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Consideration is the highest form of love.
And
Mm.
and
Actions,
Consideration. Yeah, that's it, man.
consideration is the
yeah.
highest form of
Consideration
love.
is
How
sex.
does your decision affect those around you, affect the person you're actually talking to, in all aspects? How you consider, how much you love someone can be seen in how much you consider them.
Be kind. Yes. Shit is sexy.
Love that shit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's it. Everybody, yeah.
I
Ready to?
get, I got it all, so we don't forget the question. I had to make sure it was quick. Oh, but that summarizes it all. Like consideration is fucking.
Yeah. Be kind. Be kind to each other. Be very thoughtful, as Roberto said, and allow yourselves to be human and grow together. You know, be able to find that person you could be totally vulnerable with that can become your safe space, and that those difficult conversations could become the most rewarding things that you can ever experience because you have someone that's seen you at your worst and they still love you and accept you and still willing to choose you. So relationships are dope, the most beautiful thing, the most important decision you're going to make in your life. uh, but it could also be one of the most destructive things in the world too, so that's why you need to choose wisely. But
on,
nah.
on that note.
I was waiting.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
This is a good one, yeah. This is a good one.
Or
Yeah. So those
we'll
listening, man, continue to comment, continue to give recommendations.
Yes.
Obviously, this episode was based on a recommendation. Continue to be specific with what you want us to talk about and discuss, because we're listening and we're happy to talk about it and discuss really any topic.
A few of these questions were actually directly inputted by people watching this, so I greatly appreciate it because it forced me to think
Yeah.
and forced me to understand things, questions that aren't coming from us directly. We probably asked each other already. So appreciate your contributions. Appreciate you guys being involved. Doesn't matter if it's one question, doesn't matter if it's 10, doesn't matter if it's 2 of you or if it's 500. It doesn't even matter. We appreciate any part of it and thank you for your participation.
Yeah, and if it wasn't clear before, we are not therapists, licensed therapists. We're not doctors here. This is just our
We're each other's therapist.
Shit, don't
yeah.
even
This
take
is
my
just our
advice. I'm not in a
viewpoint.
relationship.
Yeah, this isn't professional advice. So
Not
don't
at
think
all.
no. This is just what what we've learned from our experiences, how we interpret it, and hopefully it could resonate with some of you that are viewing this, and it might help you out in your journeys.
But I will say this: when I said have 5 dishes in your arsenal, work on that. That shit helps. That shit helps. That right there is probably the one factual thing I said that you can't dispute. So that's all I'm gonna say.
That's 1 meal per day for the work week.
Mhm.
No, the
And
thing is, if I cook twice a week, you never know what I'm making. By the time the 3rd week hits and I repeat a dish, you're like, yo, you already want it. You're like, yo, remember that shit you made
Yep.
2 weeks ago? I got you, baby.
yeah,
Then you can mix and match.
Can mix and match. And by the way, these 5 dishes is just dinner. I'm not talking about breakfast. I'm a champion with breakfast and sandwiches. That's not
you getting me hungry, bro.
get in that kitchen, B.
I ain't gonna lie, Irvin makes a mean grilled cheese.
Bro, my pasta skills, my chicken marsala. Woo. I got this compound chicken. I cook for ya. We got our self-love day one day. We about that too.
I'm with it.
Deal. Yeah.
But on that note, appreciate y'all watching. I mean, listening, like, share, subscribe. It's the first time I do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seize
Peace
that
out.
opportunity.
Peace out.
Yeah, peace
All
out.
right.
And thank you for tuning in.
Much love.
One love.